Welcome to Golden Mastermind Seminars Radio with your host, Jeffrey Combs.
Good afternoon, Jeffrey Combs. It is Golden Mastermind Podcast, Facebook Live, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As I wade through the meta social media sites and am on multiple social media sites, I'm looking to see what the algorithm is for today. Because if you are a social media professional, social media is full of surprises. So looking to see who shows up today on a Breathe, Release, and Let Go Tuesday. It's 2 for Tuesday for me. Good to be here with you, Sarah. Good to have you here on Tuesday, Golden Mastermind Podcast. If you are a coaching client, a former coaching client, this is the event that I host twice a year, and I have it this weekend. It is called Millionaire Blueprint, and I would be honored if you took a look at this and if you attended. And Stacia, you've attended this event, Millionaire Blueprint. So I have it this weekend. That is December 12th and 13th. If you're a coaching client, you are qualified to attend the event. And if you just reach out to me and let me know you're attending, that would be honored. I'm going to cover today, organize your life. Seems like a very basic topic. It seems like a very bland topic. However, it's a topic that if you're not organized, you're unorganized. And if you're unorganized, it has collateral damage. And a large percent of the world lives in an unorganized, overwhelmed state of conscious unconsciousness. And this is what happens when you're behind on your taxes. You're behind in your life. You can't get your car in your garage. And being unorganized creates a lot of drama, trauma, chaos, and can lead to multiple problems and foster many addictions. That's why being organized is an asset. And the number one place you want to organize yourself is your emotions. When you're all over the map and you're overwhelmed and you're codependent and you don't have clearly defined boundaries, then you're going to be a people pleaser. You're going to find yourself in an overwhelmed state of over-obligating yourself, enabling, doing more for others than you do for yourself, operating out of guilt and shame and resentment. And those are some of the main byproducts. I want a special hello to Tanya Simpson, who's dialing in here today or is visiting here today from New Zealand. Tanya is my first coaching client from New Zealand in a 28-year career. I've coached many Australians, but Tanya, thank you for being here this afternoon. Special thank you for Jeff Cregan, top-tier professional realtor in South Florida. Sarah, good to see you this afternoon. And I also saw a couple other people here. So your name's Rachel, good to see you this afternoon. So being organized is a skill. I once had a client write a book called Organize Your Life, and she was a very skilled trainer, Susan Sly. She was a Canadian, one of the top clients I've ever coached in my career. And like her, I am very organized. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my life and my organizational skills, and then you can tell yourself about your organization. You want to take a look at your organization. Amber, I'm looking good to see you. Rachel, say hello to Amber. Amber, say hello to Rachel. You will be meeting here this weekend. Alexis, good to see you this afternoon. Would love to see you this weekend, Alexis, if that is possible. And it was my honor to meet you 1 year ago in person. And Amber, I met you 2 years ago in person. And if you have a good memory, that's an organizational skill. It means you're able to organize your thoughts and operate on a recall. Now, for those of you who've been following me for years, I just put out a new video today called Black Sheep, and you're going to see me. I'm going to cover a lot of content on the Black Sheep syndrome for the rest of my life, because I have a real passion to bring that content to fruition. Because if you follow me, you're chosen, and if you're a chosen one, it means you grew up in dysfunction, trauma. You grew up in adult child of alcoholic addicts, and you're a byproduct of narcissistic behavior. And then you experienced the flying monkey syndrome, where brothers, relatives gaslighted you, ghosted you, and ostracized you for your ability to be different. And if you're a highly organized person, that's an asset. Now, here's what I found as a highly organized person. I was ostracized for being organized. I was called OCD, and ADD. I was called other names. I was told that I was neurotic. I was a freak. And in reality, it's what I could control. Growing up in my level of dysfunction, I was very skilled at organizing my parents' life. I became a superstar at organization. I also became a very skilled, detailed person. I used to play a baseball game with a pair of dice called Stratomatic. And Stratomatic was a very unique game. You had to be a genius to play the game. And I used to play a 162 game schedule of 6 teams at one time. Alexis, you understand this. And I used to keep score for this baseball game that I played with a pair of dice. And I played a 9-inning game with these dice. And it was a very detailed game. And I kept score and kept statistics for a 162 game schedule for 6 teams at one time on yellow legal pads. And I would have legal pads this big with statistics and details. So if you're organized, you're a detailed person. You're systemized, you have a method, you have a routine, and you operate in a way of life that many people will call you a black sheep. Being organized is a component of black sheep syndrome, because if you're organized, you're different. Now, if you grew up with people who were completely unorganized, overwhelmed, and did not have details and method, and they just kicked their shoes off anywhere, they threw their coat down, their clothes down, they didn't do their dishes, they waited till the last minute to do things, their cars were wrecked. Now, when I grew up, I gassed my parents' cars. I learned how to drive cars at 11, 12, and 13. I learned how to drive tractors, motorcycles. My grandfather was a multimillionaire farmer. I grew up on 3,000 acres of tall corn land in southwest Iowa. Now, in today's world, that land would be, Jeff Cregan, you'll understand this, that land would be worth $10,000 an acre. Multiply that times 3,000 acres and you'll equal $30 million. That's what that land would be worth in today's world. That's the land I grew up on. So if you're a detailed, systemized, methodical, organized person, you'll be considered a freak. You're an outcast, you're a black sheep, and you'll be called OCD, ADD, and other situations and names. In reality, you're a genius because you're able to calculate, see, you have clarity, you're able to bring things together. So there are certain skills that would absolutely fit that. It means that you're able to stage situations, you're able to stage houses. And so those of you who sell real estate, what you're selling in real estate, you're selling the dream, you're selling the outcome. And if you ever look at real estate properties, they don't show a house in a wreck. They show the house looking beautiful. It's organized, it's detailed. And I once owned my own museum. I mean, who owns a museum? I did. And you could dine off the floors. If you ever come into my house, I have 5 Dyson wall-mounted vacuum cleaners. And men and women who've come into my house and women I've dated and married, oh my God, dude, you're a freak. You have five vacuum cleaners. But I go, those are the only ones you see. You haven't seen the carpet cleaning machine and you haven't seen the electric ones that are in the closet. So they equal around 9. So once again, this is what many people think. If you're organized and detailed, you're a freak. I don't spend all day cleaning. I spend some of it cleaning, but I live an organized life. And if you're going to create money, money has to be organized. Money can't just be randomly placed somewhere. Because if you can't keep track of your money, if you don't have a checkbook or way to organize your money, well, your money is going to be unorganized. You're going to get behind in bills and taxes. And if you sit down with me, I'll show you my tax system. I have a very detailed tax system of QuickBooks. I'm a California S Corporation. I pay myself a large payroll. I don't take this little tiny payroll and then operate out of my corporation. It's called mixing money. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way for the IRS. On any given year, I pay $250,000 in taxes and more, and I can tell you exactly what I pay every quarter. I pay $37,000 a quarter this year, and my payroll taxes are around $11,000 a month. So once again, these are details. If you're not a detailed person, then you're an overwhelmed person. And if you're overwhelmed, you're going to procrastinate, you're going to avoid, you're going to wait till the last minute, you're trying to pull it off, you're going to get your tickets at the last minute. When I have people coming to my events and I'm coaching them, I ask them, do you have your plane ticket? Do you have your hotel booked? I know the answer because that's what most people do. They operate on the last minute syndrome. And if this is you, then you're going to attract your reality, the same situation, to fulfill a neurochemical craving that you're emotionally addicted to. And so a major component of your recovery is learning to be structured, to be organized, to master the details. As an addict, I was rebellious. And so if you're unorganized, you're rebelling against your own success. And the challenge with being unorganized is it compounds and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And if you have an attic in your house, it gets filled with toys and clothes and other situations. And then it turns into hoarding. I've coached hoarders before. I once was coaching a woman who had a hoarding issue. And while I was coaching her on my cell phone, I looked it up and she was in Kansas City and I dialed Got Junk. And it just so happened that franchise owner was on Got Junk. And I put my client on hold for a second. And then I said, what's your address? And I asked him if he'd do a free estimate. And I told him my name's Jeffery Combs from Kansas City. I have a client who lives on Ward Parkway. I'm from there, and she has an issue that I'd like to address. And so I scheduled, while I'm coaching this woman, I scheduled Got Junk. I'm very ambidextrous. I can do 5 things at one time effectively, and I really mean it. I can do multiple situations at one time. I can compartmentalize all of them at one time, do them very effectively. That's called multitasking. You cannot possibly multitask if you're overwhelmed. And if you're going to be a millionaire, a decamillionaire, a multimillionaire, it's going to require details, employees, accountants, attorneys. You're going to have to be a super detailed person to be highly, highly successful. You have to master your emotions while mastering the moving parts of success. And if you set my world for a day, you would see how many situations I can do effectively at one time. And not only can I do situations effectively at one time, I can direct employees and other people, vendors, contractors, to do tasks and duties for me. Recently I rehabbed a $450,000 house project while coaching 12 and 14 hours a day, 6 and 7 days a week. And I rehabbed that house in 9 months. Because I knew the details. I've done it before, so I knew I had a structure, I had a plan, I had a routine, I had a system, and I had a superstar employee who I was in alignment with who assisted me to facilitate that progress. So Stacia said she got her taxes done. So it sure does. Thank you very much. I've been looking at some of the comments. Selling dreams, baby. Yes, that is correct. That's what real estate is selling the dream. So if you're not organized, if you're not detailed, and Candy Stewart has just joined me, Candy and Curtis Stamp are both rock star. They clean office buildings and office complexes in Toronto, Canada. They're multiple 6-figure business owners. This is Candy Stewart. She came to Millionaire Blueprint 2 years ago. Candy, good to see you. I'm Candy's coach, and she's stepping into being an entrepreneur. She's a cleaner. I mean, she organizes. I could definitely be a millionaire cleaner, house cleaner, office cleaner, because I would be very skilled at it. I could do it in 2 hours. I would never spend more than 2 hours in anyone's home like this. I would charge premium prices, and I would have a waiting list for it. I mean, that's the vision I would have for that, because I'm an organized, detailed, structured person operating higher consciousness. And if you continue to edify that I'm not organized, I get overwhelmed easily, when you'll continue to recreate the same situation over and over. For years, I would speak at events, live events, and I would ask the room, how many of you are unorganized? How many of you can't get your car? I would have a whole checklist. I would write on a whiteboard, how many of you cannot get your car in your garage in this event today? Over 90% of every room, this is predictable, over 90% of every room, I've spoken over 1,000 times, and every time I would bring this to light, over 90% of the room, I documented. My assistants would go, oh my God, dude, how do you know this? I go, because it's predictable. Over 90% of every room that I spoke in, over 90% of the people raised their hand. They couldn't get their car in the garage if they had a garage. And what is it filled with? Junk, stuff, toys, old motorcycles, beat up situations that they can't let go of. A major component of being unorganized is being overwhelmed. Number 2, you have challenges letting go. You have challenges letting go. Now there's one of my students. See, Kevin Clinton Paulson just said, I never get overwhelmed. So if you ever see anyone post that means they've attended my event, because at my live events, when I used to do this, I would have people come up in the front of the room, and I would go, Kevin, what are you doing? Well, I'd coach him first. They go, Kevin, what are you doing to get overwhelmed? Kevin would go, I don't get overwhelmed. I go, Kevin, surely you get overwhelmed. He goes, no, Jeff, I don't get overwhelmed. Kevin, you were overwhelmed as a child. How did you overcome being overwhelmed? He goes, I don't get overwhelmed. So if you're saying over and over, I'm overwhelmed, you continue to edify the situation over and over to fulfill the neurochemical craving of being an emotional addict, which is that's the payoff. Then the payoff keeps you non-responsible for the system, the details, the method. Where do you start? Here's what I used to start. I used to start with 33-gallon bags. And I would have people at my live events take pictures of their first 33-gallon bag that they would show me. And not only a 33-gallon bag, but I would have them start with one 33-gallon bag for 15 minutes. And people would break down and cry because I would ask them to go into the most unorganized, undisciplined place that you have the most pain in your house or your apartment. Go in there and throw everything you can possibly put in that bag, tie it up and throw it away. Do it in 15 minutes and send me a picture. I would have people breaking down, crying. They would show me 6 bags, 10 bags, 15 bags. And because once they started, it started to create momentum. See, it's not about the bag. It's about the commitment. And once someone would commit, they're crossing the threshold of being unorganized. So the metaphor for unorganized is being overwhelmed. Overwhelmed begins in childhood as a black sheep. Usually because you're so brilliant, you don't know what to do with it. You're misdiagnosed. You're told you have this condition and that condition, and you're drawing pictures and colors, and you're downloading content from the past. I used to download content of the Knights Templars, Battle of the Little Bighorn. I mean, I was downloading content that I didn't know I was downloading and didn't know the significance of it, but I knew I was downloading it. I knew I didn't fit in. I knew I was different than everyone else. If you're a black sheep, it typically means that you have athletic ability, artistic ability, you have creativity, you are an artist, you're a mathematician. It means you have photographic memory. You have a lot of situations going on that are absolutely empowering for you, but other people will steal the thunder from you. They will tell you to grow up, get real, stop dreaming, stop chasing rainbows. Then they'll tell you situations like this, and they will steal your brilliance from you. This is the flying monkey syndrome that you're going to encounter from people in your circle of influence who don't believe in you. They're threatened by you. They don't want to see you excel. They want to dumb you down, hold you back. And this is a major component of why you're unorganized. Or if you're highly organized, it's a byproduct that may be the only situation you could have controlled as a child. And being organized is an absolute asset. So when people tell you you're OCD, ADD, or you're not neurotic, don't listen to them. It means that you have a system, you have a routine, and you have the ability to be responsible. Another byproduct of being unorganized and undisciplined is that you're rebelling against your own success. And this is what many people do, which allows them to justify and edify to continue to be in an overwhelmed state, avoiding the responsibility of being organized. Being organized is a skill. Where do you start? I mean, you start with the most common denominator. Start in a bedroom, start in a bathroom. Most importantly, start right here at your desk. And if your desk is not organized, then it's going to be unorganized. If you have papers everywhere, how do you find anything? So you see, anyone can organize, but you have a system to be and stay organized. Being organized is a be state of consciousness. I am organized. And being organized is also a memory. So if you don't have a great memory, it's because you lived in trauma, you have brain fog, you're not crazy, and there you go. And it said to tap off a notification I've never seen before. Breathe, release, and let go. Earl, how are you today? How did you know I was cleaning my desk? I did, Earl, I'm good at it. So your desk should be spotless 24/7 because your desk is your house of pleasure. Your desk is where you create your millions in your free enterprise. I'm sitting right here at my desk. Let me see if I can show you a picture of it. So this is my desk. My desk is right there. My desk is a 1920s Art Deco desk that I bought on Market Street in San Francisco. I saw that desk and I knew I was going to own it. It was a $10,000 desk. It's over 100 years old. It's a beautiful desk. I've had this desk since 1998. So I've sat at this desk since 1998 in 2 different properties. I sat at this desk from 1998 to 2000, and at this house right here from 2000 to 2000, about to be 26. Imagine how much money has passed through this desk. Imagine how many people I've talked to, how many live events I've hosted at this desk right here in my office. I've owned my house since 2000. I bought this house January 2000. It'll be my 26-year anniversary, and this desk has been at this window. I produce from that window right there. That window looks out on the street. I live on a street that has 3 cross sections. And I'm looking out at that window right here. I'm in an extremely quiet neighborhood. I have a 5,000 square foot white stucco house, red tile roof. It's a compound, and it's impregnable. You can't get in. It is virtually a compound, and it was designed specifically that way because I am a patriot. And so, I mean, this is my stronghold. And I mean, I have a roof that, well, you get the picture. I have a roof that has a balcony, and it's where I would go if I had to. And it has many secret places in my house. It's like I said, it's organized, it's detailed, it's who I am, it's where I live, it's what I do. I've put well over $500,000 into the rehab of this house. That's how many details it is. It's custom. It has 2x8 redwood planks between the kitchen and the basement, real redwood planks in it. I mean, what does that mean? It has over $250,000 worth of concrete, a 3-car garage, polyurethane floor, custom kitchen, top of the line appliances that I've dreamed of and owning. So once again, these are the details. My office is filled with pictures of my clients. I mean, this is the dream house I built. I saw it before it ever happened. I saw the organization, the detail, the structure. I saw the flow of it. Most importantly, being organized, you want to be able to create a flow in your organization. The flow of your organization is you keep it moving. You keep people coming and going. You keep the money moving. It's in flow. Money is not made to just sit and be stagnant. Money is created for joy, for bliss, for opportunity, to create more abundance, prosperity, reciprocity. Prosperity, it's in the flow. But if you're unorganized and undisciplined, it makes it very challenging to create the money because you're not in any flow. You're in resistance. You're rebelling. And it's going to affect your business ventures. That's why it's important you have a method, a system, routine to build your business one day at a time in a relaxed body by breathing, releasing, and letting go. If you're on my Facebook Live today, I have Millionaire Blueprint this weekend, and it's possible for you to actually slip into that event at the very last minute. Even though I don't like last minutes, but I unequivocally, yes, keep flipping the money, Cole. Cole, go ahead and let people know how to get a hold of you. Cole is a top-tier mortgage broker that I highly recommend. She's frequently on my Facebook Lives. Cole, you have permission to post how people can get a hold of you. So if you're looking for a mortgage broker, it's an interesting term, for a mortgage professional, reach out to Cole. Cole, go ahead and post that. And I want to thank all of you for being here. If you're connecting with this content today and you'd like to make it to Millionaire Blueprint last minute, I have openings. So go to my Facebook Messenger, let me know you want to attend. It's this Friday and Saturday, 9 to 5. And if you're also seeking one-on-one coaching or would like to talk to me, former or existing client, send me a Facebook message. I'd be honored to connect with you. Breathe, release, and let go. Organize your life. Jeffery Combs. Have a good afternoon.